So today we're doing the Garter Tab Cast On, which is a cast on that you use at the beginning of triangular shawls that are worked top down. This is our shawl, and we're working out in this direction. The cast on is here, and this is where, when you're starting a shawl that works out this way, this is where you are going to be using a garter tab. Right there. You start here and you have your bind off edge out here, then your rows are getting bigger and bigger as you work. But you start with just a really small number of stitches, and that's what we're going to do today. So a tab usually starts with 2, 3, or 4 stitches. The one that I'm going to be demoing today will be 4 stitches, but you can do this exact same thing with a 3-stitch tab or a 2-stitch tab. And so what we're going to do is we're going to cast on 4 stitches onto our needle, and I'm drawing these with my highlighter here, these 4 stitches. So this is our cast on row, cast on. And we're going to knit about 4 rows with the into the cast on. So I'm just going to draw 1 row at a time. So here's me making 4 stitches in row 1, turning around, going back, making row 2, so this is 1, this is 2, row 3, and row 4. So we've done 4 rows of knitting, and we've begun our tab, again, working in this direction. So we have 4 live stitches on the needle and 4 cast on stitches. And what we want to basically do with a garter tab is pick up 3 sides of it. And that's going to be what we're going to start our shawl. That's going to be the row that we're starting our shawl. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches that are live. We're going to pick up 1 or 2 stitches from the side. And then we're going to pick up those 4 stitches again from the cast on edge in row 5, which is what we're about to work. And we're going to basically go all the way around, and that will be the completion of the cast on where we would start the shawl. So we're going to start across the row with our working yarn. We're going to pick up 1 stitch or 2 stitches here, depending on the pattern. And then we're going to do, again, pick up 4 stitches here. So we've got 1 row going all around the 3 sides of the tab. This side does not get picked up. So let's do it. So cast on 4 stitches. I'm going to just use a plain old long tail. You can use whatever cast on you like. So I have 4 stitches on my needle, and I'm going to work back and forth, back and forth. So 4 rows, and I'm working in garter stitch. And this is the start of my tab here. So you see it's small, but you can see 2 ridges of garter stitch from those 4 rows that I've knit. And this is the cast on edge down below. And so now what we're going to do is, with the working yarn, we're going to work across, pick up a stitch here, and then pick up 4 stitches from the cast on edge, and we'll have a total of 9 stitches. The one that I just picked up out of the tab, that's going to be that center stitch that runs down the center of the shawl the entire time. So I'm picking that center spine stitch up, and now I'm turning my tab again 90 degrees, and I've got that cast on edge, and I want to pick up 4 more stitches from my cast on edge, and do this as cleanly as you can. Got 1 just going right under that cast on edge, 2, 3, and final stitch. And you can see now I've got this little, it feels like a little nothing, but it is a really, really perfect, clean start to a shawl that's going to give you a really nice finish. I've got my 4 stitches that were live, the stitch I picked up from the side, and then I picked up those stitches from my cast on edge. And now if I was to pull my needle through, you can see I have 9 stitches across, all on 1 row, and I could put this over onto my needle, and I could begin working. right into the shawl, back and forth, and the rest of the shawl would be worked back and forth in rows the entire time. So that's the simplest way to make a garter tab cast on. On double pointed needles, just to help you see how this all fits together, this is basically what we're looking at. We have the top 4 stitches, those were our live stitches. We have the 1 stitch that we picked up from the side of the tab, and then the 4 stitches that were picked up from the cast on edge here. And that is a garter tab.